Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rob Has a Podcast. I'm your host, Taran Armstrong, and we are here tonight to talk about the Wednesday night episode of Big Brother Canada 10. We had a veto competition, a secret veto hunt, and none of them got played. So that's where we are here at the end of the episode. And we are going to talk about it all in a bite-sized episode of the bite-sized recap of the episode. With me to do that is Melissa. How you doing, Melissa?
I'm doing great. It was parts of the episode were very interesting. I think ultimately, like you said, outcome not so interesting, but there we go. There it is. I'm always like, where is it coming in? Should I pause my words? I don't know.
Every time you're just like a house guest after a twist, like, I knew it. I definitely saw it coming that time.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. Of course I knew. But yeah, so ultimately boring end of the episode, but I do think that the secret veto thing is always so fun to watch them, find this I don't know, this thing that they have to keep from everyone and try and be all nonchalant and pretend like they're just going through the house like normal when really they have this secret mission. I love that sort of stuff. Wish we could have seen it on feeds, but whatever.
Also with us tonight, he'll be talking about Survivor with me after we finish recording this. It's the resident bad boy of RHAP.
I'm a bad boy.
Play my
Chappelle.
music, Aaron. Play my music. I'm a bad boy.
I'm a bad boy.
I'm a bad boy.
I'm a bad boy.
Bad boy.
I'm a bad boy. Yeah, bad boy, baby.
Yeah,
Take that,
I had no idea they were talking about you. That's crazy. I love it.
Oh, you didn't know?
No, and now I get it. I get why I liked that quote.
There
so
you go.
much.
There you go. Yeah,
bad boy.
Y'all, I'm a bad boy. Are y'all ready to sink your teeth into this? Is that what the goal is? To sink your teeth into this. Let's get to the root of all the things that happened in this episode. I'm excited.
Bite-sized.
Yeah,
so you can sink your teeth into it.
Yeah, so you can. Okay, yeah, so you can eat it. I like.
Yeah. Otherwise, how could you? Can't bite something that's not bite-sized.
Right. Why were they wearing pajamas? Was this the Tooth Fairy? I'm so confused.
I don't know, but I loved those pajamas.
Yeah,
I thought they were so cute. I was very into them. I want a pair. So yeah, I once again, Big Brother Canada comes through with the outfits. Yeah, I was interested.
Yeah. Do you dress up in silky pajamas to brush giant teeth?
I do have pretty big teeth, and I do wear pajama sets. So yes.
There we go.
All right, love it. I would have done great in this veto.
Exactly.
And a floating puzzle as well. I feel like somewhere out there, this episode was just really, really just flashing back for Caitlin. I just Caitlin Herman somewhere out there was like, no, not this episode. There's a floating puzzle. There's a time limit puzzle. It's too much.
Too many puzzles. They have a lot of puzzles in this season. I'm impressed. As you know, I am not a Big Brother Canada historian. I'm not as well versed in the older seasons. But seeing them do a very difficult puzzle on water was oh, okay. I don't think they would do that on BBUS. I just feel like they wouldn't want to spend an hour and 20 minutes on a puzzle. But here we are for Big Brother Canada.
Yeah, they really took the the Survivor mantra of the puzzle is the crux of the challenge and amped it up to 5,000 because the puzzle took an hour and a half. And so the first portion really didn't matter.
Yeah. And who would have thought the outcome here, we're all talking about the puzzle and who's going to win. And I don't think anybody could have predicted this. I mean, I guess if you've been watching the feed, you knew, but it was suspenseful.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Those puzzles looked hard. I feel like puzzles that are upright for me, I'm very good at puzzles. There it goes. All right. I'm very good at puzzles, but they have to be flat. I mean, I don't know if they have to be, but I'm so used to doing puzzles on a flat surface, just but the 3D aspect of it, I feel like that just complicates it, adds a whole nother element. And I'm not great at that. And then I'm really, really bad at fitting shapes into a shape. If you can't.
So puzzles?
Yeah.
No,
so
no.
When you
good
were
at puzzles, but
when you were a kid and you had
no.
to put the shapes through the holes, you kept putting the circle in the square.
No.
So
you're
how do you manage to
Telling me
translate
where
that to
it
doing
should
puzzles?
go. I'm saying when you have to do fit those shapes into another shape, like
Yes.
in your
So
class.
like a circle into a circle.
No. You do. I'm not explaining myself. You have like a piece of paper, like a square, okay? And you have a bunch of different little shapes, and you have to like fit them in, but the visuals on it, they're not distinguishable. They're all the same color. It's just pieces of paper that you fit together in a shape. You've never done that in class?
Like a puzzle.
No, puzzles have an image on it that you have to fit together. You have visual clues.
You're right. My bad. I just thought when you said that you were good at puzzles, you could put.
So you're talking about taking a piece of paper,
cutting it into a bunch of pieces, and then you
cut it into a bunch
together.
of pieces, and then you put the paper back together.
JC Lynn's
Why would you do that?
Is what I'm talking about. Because that shows you how the surface area and stuff like of a shape. That's what they used to do in class. Did you never go to school, Taran? Jeez. But
no, I never went to school. What's the school thing you're talking about?
Her puzzle is one that I'm not good at, where it's not about the visual of the puzzle. It's literally about finding ways that pieces can fit together into another shape. Like I would have absolutely failed at that. No, like I would have absolutely failed, and I'm not going to go into more detail. And if we had the chat right now, like if we had the chat backing me up, they'd be like, Taran,
the chat's not here for you now, Melissa.
They can't save you,
You're all
Melissa.
alone with
the
us
chat
here.
has
Tell me more
abandoned
about your
me.
puzzle skills.
The chat would have backed me up on this, but you know, all I'm saying is I would have absolutely failed JC Lynn's tasks. First of all, math. Would not have gotten that.
Yeah,
they spoke that little riddle so quick. I would have been like, whoa, hold on. What was that first thing you just said? Because you're saying they're nervous anyway. And then you got this puzzle that's really hard. And it just, and there's a time limit on it. I mean, she actually impressed me with all that stuff. Like she at first was like, oh, I don't know how to use a rotary phone. And I was like, oh no, like she's not going to get this. And then she like killed it on the rest of it when I know I would have failed. So like, I was very impressed. Didn't love the outcome that she didn't do anything with it, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, but what's that about though? I mean, you're right, Melissa. This was a difficult task. I think for me, just being able to accomplish is like, I don't care what the outcome is. I'm using it. You know, like I didn't go through all of this. Like all the things that she went through, she's doing math, she's hunting around for stuff, she's using a rotary damn
phone. Like, oh, I didn't want this.
Right. Like, well, I'm like, I don't know. Like for my game, really? Like, no, your game is latched on to that man's game. Y'all are this, like, if y'all said y'all wanted him out and y'all were in cahoots and y'all were going to backdoor him and all this other stuff, and he's going to find out, I think this was the time to do it. He's going to
find out.
Yeah, this was the time to do it, especially because you went through all that. You know, just for that alone.
Also, like, okay, even if you're going into the veto ceremony, like, I don't know if I'm going to use it. I don't think I'm going to use it. I think that I'm just going to keep it the same. Then you get Moose sitting there saying like, hey, whoever uses this, like, I am with you. I will do whatever you want. Like, I am dedicated to you. Please use this veto on me. I would immediately be like, okay, you know what? It's worth it. This guy has nothing. I only have Gino at this point. Like, I've got to get another ally in the house. I need to build some credibility. Like, I'm using this veto. You know, it eventually, like, first of all, I can explain it to Gino. Second of all, there's not really that much to explain because Gino wanted this to happen anyway. Gino would probably be happy about it. Then you've got Moose there who's like, okay, you know what? You guys weren't lying when you said I was just a pawn. Like, you guys were being serious. You did what you had to do in order to make it so that even when you didn't win the veto, you got another veto and then used that other veto to help me. Like, he would be dedicated. Like, I just feel like it was such a missed opportunity at that point. And she's like, Moose, you almost got me.
Yeah, Moose, you almost got me, but guess what, Moose?
You really suck at lying.
You didn't get me.
What's coming? I know. I was thinking about that clip when she did that. I was like, this would have been a moment for you to do your own thing in this game, to step up, to do something different, and to prove that you're like a competitor. I mean, people would absolutely respect the fact that she could then tell everyone like, all these things I had to do to get the veto, like, you guys didn't have to do all this. And like, I used the veto, you know, whatever. It's like, it goes to show that she's playing her own game. At this point, it just is like, what is she doing in the house? Nobody knows, you know, it's just, I mean, even if you're behind the scenes, like talking with Gino, whatever, Gino is the one that is getting the credit. She's not getting any credit from anybody because like, she's not doing anything on her own.
Yeah.
This could have been it.
Could have been it. And now she's dead to Summer.
And the secret veto holder, you're dead to me, and I know who you are.
Does she?
Yeah, I was gonna say, does she though?
Like,
I don't think so.
It's pretty
Yeah.
much impossible because if JC Lynn can't tell anyone and she also didn't use it, then how
Mhm.
would anybody ever know? Like, if you say it to someone, you get evicted immediately. So I just don't understand why someone's like, I know who you are, because because it wouldn't even make sense for it to be JC Lynn, because from Summer's point of view, JC Lynn and Gino wanted to backdoor Marty. So it's like, JC Lynn's probably the last person you think it is, honestly. I'd be interested to know who Summer thinks that it was.
I think she thinks it's Marty.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, of course, Marty doesn't want to backdoor himself. I'm assuming
Yeah.
as the secret veto holder, he couldn't go up.
See, that's the thing. Who knows how that would have worked? Although I guess it was only secret. They would have stood up and used it. So I guess that's like if Jace stands, or if Marty had it and stood up and said, "I'm using it," then obviously he would have been safe because it wasn't used secretly, just won or earned secretly. But yeah, I feel like Summer's whipping out the dead to me too often, because this was her very recently.
You are dead to me. Dead.
And now,
And the secret veto holder, you're dead to me.
it's too many. There's too
Sounds
many.
like
You can
they're
only
ending the episodes on that too, like as if it's a
Very much so.
punchline.
you can only have one person dead to you at a time, I think.
You have to actively do something to that person, though. Like, you
Yeah,
can't
I
just
would
be
say,
like,
like-
you're dead to me, and then continue to not make a move in the game.
And then do
Like,
everything normal. Yeah.
right. Like, so I love Summer. And I love that she keeps saying that she's very petty and she wants to do the petty thing. And honestly, if I ever play one of these games, I would not be making good game moves, because I too am petty. I am the type of person where it's like, you lied to me, I am going to throw my game away to ruin yours, and I don't care. And so there are moments where Summer's like, I could be petty right here. And I'm like, yes, do it. And she's like, but I won't. No. That's not what I want from you. I want you to say, I know they want to backdoor Marty, and I am angry that Gino did this. Now, this might not be the best game move, but I don't care. Marty, I'm saving you. I'm picking you to play in the veto competition. I don't care, because chances are you're still going home. And here she is on the block next to Moose, and she could go home. It doesn't look like she's going home, but the possibility is still there. So I would at least be trying to shake something up, because right now, what inroad does she have? Be petty.
Look, she's got some speeches.
And quite frankly, it will be a no, not to use the power of Veto on this sweet piece of candy.
Ass smack. Pow. I'm like, okay. Look, speech-wise, she won me over. Not gonna lie. I was like, well, there's my vote.
Yeah.
There you go.
She did have a good speech. She had a couple good speeches.
How do we feel this compares to the Roe show?
Oh, hell no.
Oh, hell no.
Was there an ass smack in the
Yeah,
Roe
that's
show?
the question.
Roe show did not have an ass smack, but it did turn into
The dodo.
which I did appreciate.
It's fine. But you're not gonna smack the candy. Pow. Then
Yeah,
it's
you
not
gotta
the
smack
same.
the candy.
It's gotta
Well,
smack the candy.
she did have a second chance as well. So she Summer got in there with another one.
I won't make any promises to anyone. If you want to use it, use it. If not, you could kiss my black ass. And that is all.
A speech.
I like how it comes directly after Moose being like, please, I'll do anything. It's
Right.
like a very different vibe.
Yeah. And JC Lynn's like, that Moose doesn't sound like he would do anything, though. Like, it's like, I'll do anything.
Like,
please just save me. I don't get that
I don't-
vibe.
I'm just
buy
like,
it.
the thing is that his degree is in sport media.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it's not doing it for me. Sorry.
yeah.
Ugh, what a missed
Choice.
opportunity. That was
Choices.
I mean, God, it's like this is why I gave her the 2, because I just feel like it's all a missed opportunity. She's not doing anything on her own. She's not like, and it's like, I think part of my issue with her, and where like maybe I would have given her a 4, it's that like I'm very disappointed in her, because I felt like I saw such promise. Like I also don't think she's an idiot. She's obviously not an idiot. She's a smart girl. And like, it's like, you see it there, but then nothing is done with it. And that's what's making me so frustrated with her, is that like, I can see her being a really great player. She's just not doing anything. And it's making me upset about that. Like, that's why I gave her the 2, rather than just being like, she's like not really doing much, I'm just going to give her a 4, because I see the potential and I want her to do it. It's like, I mean, she's in my draft team. I want her to do well.
Yeah. I just feel like it's one of those things where, like this is not like a game ending mistake, but it's definitely one of those things where like you could have done a little bit to up your profile a little bit as far as winning the jury, you know, or like you've done something that shows that you're like, we know she's a good competitor, you know, and obviously she's not like you said, she's not an idiot. She's able to put the puzzles together. She's able to do these quick challenges here and there. She's tied to, you know, a bigger target and a showman. So these are good things, but it's like we're getting close to the end game. People are going to start going home very rapidly, and you have to start separating yourself to where you don't end up just kind of falling by the wayside in like a double or a triple or a double or a double triple food chain, whatever. You know, like do something. So right. I wish there was more for her, and I also wish that we could have backdoored Marty. Like, more importantly for me, like I really thought we were going to get him this time.
It's also like, okay, so like they are in the backyard, the doors open up, and they see that there's new flowers there. Like JC Lynn is immediately like, I need to check this out. Like, I'm a Big Brother super fan, and like this is my opportunity to like, you've got to check these things. And it's like, yes, that's exactly right. Like, oh, this is great. And it's like I feel like she knows what she should be doing, but isn't like following through. Like, it's like she wants to, like, she knows she needs to get the power. She like gets the power, then she has it and doesn't do anything with it. And it's not a situation where it's like, oh, but Gino's HOH, it's her ally, and they already have their target on the block. Like, why would they use it just to use it? That's not this situation. Yes, Gino's HOH, but they couldn't get their backdoor target on the block. This is the perfect opportunity for her to use it. It's like literally a gift in her hand, and she's not using it. And I guess it's probably better for us that she didn't use it, because I guess it like keeps the integrity of the game or whatever a little bit better. I don't know, because Marty like was supposed to go home, and then he ended up not going home because of like the way the game played out. Like, it was a failed backdoor. And then if it's like this Deus Ex Machina thing where all of a sudden she gets the secret veto and it happens to go to the person who like wanted him to get backdoored, and then it's like he gets on the block and gets backdoored, and that's how Marty gets taken out. It's kind of like, okay, it's not actually legit. I mean, it is legit because it's Big Brother Canada, and that's what you have to expect. But like, it's not the exact way that like, it's not like a clean way of getting Marty out. I don't know, whatever.
No, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always happy to see, twists flop. So for that reason, I'm totally cool with it. I am just like, it was tough for me to watch this episode as somebody that watched Big Brother Canada 2 and saw Allison, find the secret butt veto on the feeds. This is a clear reference to that, as like the 10th, season. They're doing lots of references, but this was not on the feeds, which is super annoying because we also like lost the Buzzkilled competition this week from the feeds, and it's just such a fun thing. Like, it would have been so fun. Just like as I was watching this, it was impossible to separate myself from like how great it would have been if this had been on the feeds, knowing that Jace is the one that found it, knowing that the outcome could be that Marty goes up. This has been one of the slower weeks on the feeds, and that would have like completely immediately elevated the entire week to top tier great week. And instead we've just lost more, and that's like, it was so frustrating. To like, I couldn't even like, I couldn't enjoy it, unfortunately.
It's like, it was so exciting watching it on the episode, and then imagine that like tenfold watching it play out when you don't know the outcome, you don't know who's gonna find whatever's in there. Like, I just feel like it would have been so fun to see her like try and figure these things out and being like, oh my God, is she gonna get it? What's happening? It's certainly frustrating, and it makes me wonder, like, why wouldn't that be on the feeds? Like, what was their reasoning for not including it?
My theory is that it's ultimately sponsored. When she gets to the room, there's like a big Expedia logo. And
Expedia sucks.
Right, but even beyond that, just like the fact that any part of it is sponsored, like a sponsor is not going to want anything that's not scripted, and so like Jace wandering around the house as part of the Expedia secret veto does something that Expedia doesn't agree with on the live feeds, like then it gets weird, right? So that would be my assumption.
Was the Expedia part in the end of it though? Because I don't remember it being.
Nah,
throughout.
she walks in the room and the first thing you see is Expedia.com, like
That's at
just
the
like
end
on
when
the
she's putting
wall.
together the puzzle, right?
Yeah. So they could have showed some of it
Yeah,
on the
like they
feed
could
for
have showed
sure.
her like finding some of it, going to the phone room. She
I
makes
agree.
the call. We're like,
And
oh my
like,
god, what's she calling about?
yeah, and like we don't need to see the puzzle part of it live on
Right.
the feeds. Like that's fine. But my assumption is again like because it's sponsored in any part of it, it's all the same thing, and probably contractually they weren't allowed to. But to that I'd say like have something else sponsored by like this is a thing that can be shown on the feeds. Like give us that. You've done it before. To take away something that is literally like. When people think about greatest moments on the Big Brother Canada feeds, Allison finding the veto is one of them. And so and I know that like not everybody watching the show now like was watching the show at that time, but like it doesn't feel like a fun throwback. It feels like a slap in the face to people that loved that thing that happened in Big Brother Canada too.
Well, I'll play devil's advocate here. As someone who doesn't watch the feeds as closely as I do for BBUS, one of the things that's frustrating to me about Big Brother Canada is that every time someone tells me to go back and watch the season, or they're telling me about like a really good player, I say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch this." And they're like, "Yeah, but it doesn't do any justice without the feeds." They're like, oh, okay, cool. So if you're telling me I gotta go rewatch this season, maybe 5-6 years from now, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go watch it, and I get to this episode, and you're like, yeah, it was fine. And you're like, oh no, on the feeds it was a crazy thing. She did this whole hunt, and we were right there because I think it's BBCAN 6. I'm like, oh, I'll go watch that. And they're like, it's so good. Paris is such a good winner. Also, you're not gonna see anything that she's doing because the show doesn't show it. I'm like,
well, that's the fault of the edit, and I do think that the edit has done. They've been doing very well with the edit this season. Like I don't think there's anything from this season that would be like, oh, you're not seeing the real season from this season. So I think they've definitely stepped their game up there, and that's why like it's frustrating because I feel like they are making a lot of good choices, but I don't think that this was one of them. But I did notice that there was a fun weird little moment. So the flowers show up, right? Jace inspects them, doesn't find it immediately. A few other people inspect them. Marty is going to inspect the flowers.
These real flowers? No, they're fake flowers. I hate fake flowers. Why not put real ones? Because we have no window.
What was that? Just listen to that again.
I hate fake flowers. Why not put real ones? Because we have no window.
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah, they like took audio from something else or something. It sounded like, I don't know. That's really weird. Or he like went to an echo chamber or something.
Big Brother yelled at him. He was like, "Why not get real flowers?" We're like, "We don't have windows in here." It's like, "Oh, okay."
There's no window.
Yeah, he's like, no window. Oh, okay, makes sense. Cool, thanks.
The intonation makes no sense either, though. It's like
he's yelling at them.
Yeah, like why not real?
Back.
He's asking a question, which is probably seems like a rhetorical question. Why not real flowers? And then he's answering it. Because there's no window.
Yeah,
he's in an insane asylum. He also like it doesn't matter for like cut flowers to have like light. Like you don't need light for cut flowers. You only need light to grow flowers. Like although to be fair, I am totally in agreement with Marty. Fake flowers are not where it's at. Real flowers are the only way to go.
I'm team fake flowers. I'm team
See?
fake flowers. I have allergies. It's a whole thing.
You're wrong.
Listen.
You can tell when it's a fake flower. You can absolutely tell it's a fake flower. Like they don't look real at all. They get dusty.
I mean, but listen, I can breathe around fake flowers. If I go outside, then the allergies start to kick in. I'm like, look, oh gosh, it's these real flowers again. Like, why would you do that to me? Every time I go outside, I get humbled by God. He just shuts it down. Like, you thought you were hot shit, but you can't even breathe outside. Look at you.
Yeah, well, I feel very bad for you because flowers smell really, really good.
Melissa, your pitch here is that fake flowers don't look like real flowers, but if people like fake flowers, it doesn't matter if that's like saying, I know you like oranges a lot, but oranges are not apples.
No, because they don't like fake flowers because they like fake things. They like fake flowers because it looks like a real flower, but there's no maintenance, no upkeep. They don't die.
Right. Without all the messy cleanup.
They don't look like real flowers is what I'm saying. That first part already is a no-go. It does not look real. It looks fake. It looks like it's from the 80s or 90s. It's just not it.
Hey, Taran, listen, it's almost like if you're really good at puzzles, but you're not really good at cutting shapes out and then putting them back
Thank you. Oh my
together
God.
in
Thank
the
you. You
same,
finally see he
like
gets it now. He
in like a
gets
shape.
it.
Like you
Mm.
actively can't do that, but you
He
are
gets
good
it.
at puzzles, just not at puzzles.
Yeah, it's
He
like how
gets
a
it.
piece of paper that's been put back together by Melissa is not, it's
God.
not the same as a piece of paper that hasn't been cut apart to begin with.
What
Exactly.
a relief that you guys finally understood.
It took us a minute, but we're here
It
now.
took
Melissa.
you
I'm
guys
sorry.
a bit, but we're all on the same page. Love
We
it.
figured
Love
it out. Because there's no windows!
There's no
There's
windows.
no window.
There's no windows.
Yeah.
We also got and this is kind of a shame of the episode as well, but Helena is gonna get a veto win here, a bit overshadowed by the rest of the events happening, but this is a big win for Helena. And we have a new veto celebration to add to the queue of veto celebrations. That we have.
This is one happy hour. Woo! Yes!
That's the Marty's celebration. We got Moose.
Power Veto, baby!
Check. You try to put me on the bluff, try to pin everybody against me in the house, Kyle? Look what you did. Foolish. You can't get rid of me that easily, baby. Moose B is in the house.
I forgot how long that one was.
That's decent,
Then we have a new one, Helena.
I just won that Power Veto, the best comp ever. Me, Helena, regular schmegler, basic mid. I did this. I hold something so special.
If I ever call myself mid, just go ahead and turn my mic off. She was very happy.
She was very happy.
Very happy. You know, we just watched the Minnesota Timberwolves win a play-in game into the playoffs, and Pat Beverly's like up in the crowd, like spitting water out like Triple H, and all it is a play-in game into the playoffs. That's kind of how Helena felt in this moment. Like it was one veto win because none of these people thought you could win one, but it wasn't like a game ending, like game on the line, kind of like with Moose, where he's like, "You pit the whole house against me." Sure, it saved Marty, but Helena, congratulations! I'm very happy for you.
Yeah, good for Helena. I'm glad that she won something, and I'm glad that she was able to, I guess, like foil the HOH plan. I think that that's kind of, I mean, like, especially afterwards when Gino was like, I had 4 horses in the race and the 5th horse won. It's like, it is always fun kind of to have that like 5th horse or whatever, like the last person who you want to win it. Cause it really just throws a wrench into everything. So good for Helena.
I did like that Helena's speech was referencing Kevin's, where he said that he's superstitious and doesn't want to break the trend of the veto being used. She's like, I am superstitious, but I think I'm gonna take my chances. I'm not gonna use the veto. And then immediately after, it's like, Helena, please go to the diary room.
What have I done? She probably was sitting there like, oh my God, like this is bad news. Cause like, even if she uses the veto, well, actually, that's a good point. Could Helena have been nominated if I don't think so, right? Because
no, veto holder can't be nominated.
Veto. Well, because my thought was like she did hers first, so like technically she doesn't have a veto anymore. Like,
I think it lingers. It lingers like Marty's HOH essence that Gino had to sweep up. It sticks to you.
Yeah. Okay. Because that would have been really traumatic if she chooses not to use the veto and says like, I feel superstitious too, but I'm going to go against it anyway, and then immediately like gets put on the block with this secret power of veto. But glad that didn't happen.
That's normally what happens when you say the phrase like, I'm definitely not going home this week, or this week I'm feeling great, or I think I'm going to win this game, and then you get backdoored, Herman. That's like the nail in the coffin phrase that the producers are looking for you to say. So it's like you say that, and then next week you're on the block, and he's like, you said you weren't superstitious. You probably should have been, And so I'm hoping that it doesn't come back to bite her next week, because it would have been better if it came back to bite her this week. So as far as I'm concerned, next week wouldn't be poetic enough, but the soundbite is there. So if she doesn't win, people will go back. Well, remember that one week where she broke the chain?
I feel like if you're ever in the diary room and the producers are like, so you'd say like, you're feeling pretty good right now about your spot in the house, right? Your place in the house. Like you think you're going to win? Why don't you go ahead and say that? It's like, I would be like, oh God, I'm about to go home. Like they know something that I don't know. This is hubris.
See, Yeah,
What
if I was in the
percentage?
diary room, I'd be like, so would you say you're a bad boy? Would you maybe say that?
Like,
I'm a bad
no.
boy.
Like, and then you gotta say it again, like, no, I'm a bad boy. I'm a bad boy. And they're like,
Bad
okay.
boy.
Meanwhile, everybody's
Bad
clipping
boy.
it for their soundboards.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're like, so what percentage do you think you have to win this game? You're like, I'm 100%. I'm 42 to
Yeah.
45% sure that I'm do fine in this game, but
Would you
not
say
great. Not great.
100%?
No,
Yeah, even if
not
you feel
100.
very confident, the second
Yeah,
you start saying that, like Kyle in the other room, like, oh, your boy's doing so well right now, or I'm in a good spot right now. It's like, don't say that. Even if you think
secret
it,
veto.
or even if you think like America loves you, don't say America loves
Oh,
me. I
please
think
don't say
America
that.
loves me. Don't say that.
Right.
Or like, we're the
Yeah.
good guys. You never want to say any of those phrases.
Canada's
like-
loving me right now. Nope. No, they're not.
Mhm.
Stop
Yeah,
it.
it was, I feel like maybe like a 10% chance of winning the game. There
Más
are
o menos.
There are 9 people. That's less than your average. 10%.
You're
what I
like,
said.
meh.
Say what I said.
I stand by it.
I am not a mathematician. I majored in sports. Sports media, you know.
I majored in sports media. I don't know anything.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I feel like the phrase that you want to avoid this season, you want to avoid being told to kick your feet up. You also probably
Oh,
want to
yeah.
avoid saying.
So I'm spilling the tea to Kevin.
I feel like that's the line of doom this season.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't tell Kevin anything.
It
He's
seems
too
like
good.
Kevin is a front runner here. I mean, I too pay attention to the stock watch. I don't play because I'm bad with numbers. But you know, it does look like Kevin is doing a very difficult thing right now and like teetering between both sides of the house with his only real ally being Helena, because that's probably not who you would want as their best choice for ally. But she seems to be all in on him, and so I'm wondering if he can even maintain this for the duration of the season. Because I mean, it's working out. He's getting out the big competition threats, and if he's hanging out with Helena and Betty, you know, at the end, like he might just be able to like, well, I guess I'm gonna win a few, you know. And so I've been enjoying seeing Kevin's gameplay, not necessarily rooting for Kevin all the time because he's getting out my faves, but I can respect the game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's been impressive stuff. I think you know, we've said it before, but I feel like his biggest challenge at this point is the end game, is you know, that final 4, final 3 sort of spot, and then being able to get that jury vote is definitely an issue for him. But he's doing well. He's slithering
I'm
through.
just going to slither through.
So
I think also perceptions will change as more and more people get out of the house, like people who have been working with him. I mean, there's still a bunch of people left in the house who have been working with him for a while. So I think like once literally like any one of those people gets to the jury house and says like, oh yeah, Kevin and I were working together, he's been doing all this stuff, people will start to realize, you know, oh, the behind the scenes workings, and start giving him credit, I think.
he really needs Josh in the jury house. Like he needs Josh in there saying like, no,
Yep.
Kevin ran that back to me, because Josh was in a good spot with pretty much everyone, but they don't know that Kevin is doing all the backstab, you know, the back and forward. But Josh does, and Josh can very well be in there and be like, no, that was Kevin. That was Kevin too. He told me, or we were gonna do this, but then I talked to Kevin and I decided not to. And Josh doesn't seem like a bitter juror. And so I think if somehow, even if it's not at the hands of Kevin, you know, maybe indirectly, Josh being on the jury would probably be a good thing for him.
Yeah. So there's our episode here. A secret veto, a regular veto. None of them used. Moose and Summer on the block. Somebody's dead to Summer, but we're not sure who yet. And yeah, I think that's what we saw.
Yeah.
Do you think Summer could suspect Betty as the secret veto winner? Because during the competition, the way Betty was rooting for people to win this competition, like, yes, that's awesome, go, let's go, Chase. I was like, Betty, my queen, Wagwan, what's going on? What's happening? Stop it, calm down. It was a lot.
She's used to playing in the veto, and she's used to bringing it.
This is business B. Let's get it.
She literally asked the other people, like, is this too much? Like, if you have to ask somebody, am I doing the most right now? You probably are. You know you are. Stop it.
Yeah.
She was going
In the
full
back of your
swing for
mind, you
everybody.
know.
So that was fun. But I do enjoy seeing Betty like step up her game a little bit as well. I haven't been here since week 1, so I haven't got to talk about like a lot of the like changes in these people's gameplay. And so seeing Betty kind of turn it up a little bit is cool. But again, I think that they're really going to have to start winning something eventually, to get out some of these threats, to get out, some of the people who she's aligned with that she probably can't beat. And so I was happy to see this in her Philips Sonic Care Power Flosser product placement challenge. It was cool. I think if you're going to use a sponsor like that, you have to say it more than like twice. I don't think they said it enough, but overall, I was happy to see Betty in this moment too. So I'm hoping that none of this falls on Betty moving forward.
It's also like not how toothbrushes work.
No, not at all. It's a power
spray
flosser.
water at your teeth.
It's a power flosser.
Yeah, what's
like a
thing
water
called?
pick.
Water pick. That's what it's called.
Yeah,
But even
Philips
then,
Sonic
like
Care
that's
power
still
flosser.
not how it works, right? You don't like spray the front of your teeth with a water pick, do you?
It's like a bidet, but for your teeth.
Yeah.
A Philips Sonic Care power flosser. You got to say it, or we don't get the product
Yeah,
placement.
we need
ad
that
money.
moolah, Taran.
We do.
Are you guys Philips Sonic Care users?
We are. We're sponsored. Chappelle and I specifically are sponsored.
Look at our big ass teeth.
I genuinely use a Philips Sonic Care toothbrush.
And you're not sponsored.
Ooh, Taryn, you're
Yikes.
not saying it enough.
Nice.
Okay.
Look, it's I don't understand their new method of advertising. I don't understand the new method of brushing your teeth where you're spraying water at them.
Why would they give you this
building them
power if you're not
on
going to use
water.
it, Taryn? Why would they give you the power if you're not going to use it? Why
There
would
was
they
no
give you?
reasoning in the reasoning.
There is no reasoning in the reasoning. It's right there.
Yeah, it's right
You
there.
got to use it.
Yeah. Get
All
that
right.
moolah. Get that sponsorship moolah, Taran.
Gotta get it. Gotta get it. Unfortunately, there's just no windows.
Mhm.
There's no
There you go.
windows.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, I think that's what we have for you from this episode. Nice little. We sunk our teeth in. They were luckily they were
Our
brushed.
Philips Sonic Care
teeth?
brush teeth.
Yep.
We made it happen. So, anything else, Chappelle?
No, that's it. I mean, it has been, picking up. I like that since the jury, a lot of the players that have been laying low are kind of making moves. I am sad that some of my favorite players are kind of like stagnant right now. I'm looking at Moose, looking at Summer, but I am enjoying seeing, the end game as it unfolding right now. But yeah, this was fun. Have me back. I'll come back and talk about the rest of this. It's easy to keep up with it now. It's like it's 7-8 people. I'm like, I got this.
Yeah. Melissa, would you call yourself regular schmegular?
Me, Alina,
Mid.
regular schmegular, basic mid. I did this.
Basic
I told
wig.
She called herself mid. Yeah. If you call yourself mid, you gotta love
Basic
yourself more.
Mid.
Yeah.
I don't love that. I don't ascribe to that.
Well, where are you on the scale of, because there's a bunch of regular schmegular,
Reggie? Mhm.
where are you on that scale? Are you like special schmeshel? Like where do you fall here?
Yeah, I'd probably say special
Schmeshel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Reggie, mid, gas, special. That's like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
order of operation.
On the basic scale, are you basic? Or are you not basic? Are you complicated?
No, I'm acidic.
Oh,
Acidic.
there you go.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
Okay,
And then
pH balances now.
mid.
Okay.
Are you mid?
No,
No,
Melissa,
I'm
please.
trouble.
Far from mid. Far from
Trouble. Okay.
Mid. Okay.
All right. Special schmeshel acidic trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you
I
go.
did it.
No, right though, right? Like that's it. Yeah, like it's not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think that fits as well. All right, that's what we have for you tonight. Thank you for joining us on this bite-sized, sunken teeth but clean teeth episode of the podcast here. Rob is a podcast. Thank you all for joining us. Make sure you check out our other Big Brother coverage. I'll be live every morning at 11 a.m. Eastern to update you on everything happening on the Big Brother Canada 10 live feeds. We'll also be live tomorrow night, the eviction night, after the episode to recap what goes down on the eviction. I'll also be live on Twitch watching the episodes with all of you, as well as doing other stuff over there on Twitch. So come and join me there. You can find me on Twitter as well, at Armstrong Taran. Check out the Taran Show with Gabby from Survivor this week. And Chappelle, what have you got going on?
Is this a busy week for me? I don't think so. I think I'm chilling. So I'm still on post-show recaps talking about The Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead just started. And so myself, AJ Mass, Jessica Leese, and Josh Wigler are talking about that every week until the end of time because The Walking Dead is never going to end. I'm also talking about Atlanta on post-show recaps with LaTanya Starks and Mari Forth. And then Rob Cesternino and I on Rob Has a Podcast are talking about Netflix shows. Taran has been a guest before, but we are nothing but Netflix. And this week we're talking about Formula One racing, Drive to Survive. So that episode will be out this weekend. Check that out. Give a suggestion. Follow me on Twitter at Chappelle's_show and tell me what you want to hear me talk about on Nothing But Netflix. But that's it. Just hanging out.
All right. And you're going to force find Melissa at It's Melissa. With 3 A's.
I'm a bad boy.
I'm a bad boy.
She's a bad boy.
She's a bad
All
boy.
right. Thank you all so much for joining us here tonight. And we will see all of you next time.